The Witcher casting director revealed how she uses her position to push her own political worldview. In an interview, she was asked about projects, confirmed she wanted to work in the field of casting. Okay, I mean, like, this isn't bad at all, like what she said. I think the first time I felt like casting director was when I worked on something, A Kill, team by Dan Krause, which is a story of American soldiers over in Afghanistan. First time I understood that casting wasn't about finding beautiful people who could do the American accent convincingly, but it was about casting could have a real profound impact on the people that were watching it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine to say that. She later added, you can affect change in whatever tiny way. Because you are in people's homes and they're watching this world that sort of solidified whenever I was a child. She's 5 now, and I thought about how hard it is to be a girl. Okay. I remember thinking I have to help her because she's going to come under attack just like I did, just because she's a girl. Maybe she'll be lucky to get to 9 before somebody calls her a bitch. And it made me so sad that she was going to experience that and I couldn't protect her from that. I mean, I'm sure that, like, women have, like, a lot of problems in life, but I don't think that, like, I think guys have that issue too, right? I mean, how many of you guys got called a bitch before you were 9 too? I mean, I certainly did. Yeah, I mean, like, or gay. Yeah. If you're, like, around my age. Gay was the popular one. And, yeah, it's just, I don't know if this is something, like, that's only for women. I think guys have that happen a lot. But what I could do is change the way people see women through casting. I can make them powerful and empowering and open to floodgates, and the floodgates will open to them. Holland went on to do a reveal. She applies this theory to every job she takes on. I apply this theory to everything, and it makes me push boundaries a little harder because I think representation is important, not just for women, but for all minority groups. People have different physical abilities. I think it's important that they're seen as strong and fierce roles. Realizing this was a true moment of falling in love with my craft in a way that feels specific to me, she said. Holland would go, okay, so this is about the actual Witcher. Why she chose to race to replace Yennefer in The Witcher. I'm always the first to champion diversity in all its glory. One of that springs to mind was the character of Yennefer of The Witcher. Oren Schmidt is the showrunner, and we work so well together. She's so open in conversations. I think that the problem really with this is that I don't think people complain about a race swap if there's an improvement in the actor. But, like, this isn't, like, I mean, the girl that plays Yennefer is okay, right? It's not like it's awful or anything like that. But, I mean, this isn't some amazing, like, really, really well-known actress or something like that. So I think that's the difference. Like, for example, like, nobody complained whenever, fucking, like, who's it? Mike Fury in The Avengers, I forgot his first name, got cast as Samuel Jackson. Even though Nick Fury got cast as Samuel Jackson, even though he was white in the show, in the comics. Because he wasn't cast... They didn't replace Nick Fury with a black actor. They replaced him with Samuel L. fucking Jackson. That's the difference. So, yes, you can race swap characters. It doesn't matter as long as it's an improvement on the character. It's the same thing, like, with, I remember the James Bond. You know, they were going to have Idris Elba play James Bond. I was like, great. This is a good actor who can play the role. It had nothing to do with him being black. Like, it's just so weird. What is this? Now, he's not going to do it because he said it was... Basically, I saw an interview with him or something where he said, like, basically all the commentary about being about his race just made him feel weird, and he just doesn't want to do it again, which, like, do it anymore. I mean, it's just, like, honestly, I don't blame him. It is fucking weird. But, yeah. What about Mermaid? I never watched that. I have no idea. Probably they're trying to make movies statement pieces and not a piece of entertainment. Yeah. In the book, she's described as the most beautiful woman in the world. This was a few years ago, and I like to think things have changed. Wait, what? I don't understand this. This was a few years ago, and I'd like to think things have changed. So did she get ugly? Like, wait, what? Like, I mean, I mean, this is obviously, like, you know, she just said something that didn't really make sense. Like, I don't understand that. Like, so is being beautiful bad? Like, I don't know. Let's see here. Especially in fantasy world, it felt like these worlds were predominantly white. And I remember saying, I feel like we need to challenge what people think of as a standard of beauty. Having a woman of color in this role does incredibly powerful things to the people that are watching. Yeah, I mean, sure. Like, if you want to have a character and I think the problem is the priority. That's the issue. It's the priority. It's not the fact of like the race of the person. It's the priority of this is more important than casting a person that fits the role. And also, like, big surprise that the story that came out of a guy from Poland is going to have characters that are all white. No fucking shit. But duh. I mean, that's why everybody there is white. What do you expect? Just so weird. So, like, not everything needs to be diverse. I think it just matters about, like, if you're adding in diversity, there has to be, like, an intrinsic value to it that the audience can see. Because a lot of people have, a lot of people, I don't think, really mind this kind of stuff. It doesn't really matter to them that much. But whenever it's actively cannibalizing what they believe to be entertainment, and this is the issue. So this is why I think this stuff is like very corrosive to like fantasy media and entertainment. It's because whenever you see that character in the show, you know that the only reason that character is there is because of a real world socio-political reason that the people that run the show are trying to push onto you, the viewer. So you're constantly taken out of the immersion of being part of a fantasy universe because you just see characters and you see things in the show that are, this is here because the people have a worldview that they want you to see. And I think that's why these shows don't do well. People watch these shows for escapism. They're not watching them for, to have a, like an accurate view on, society of today. That's why they're watching a medieval show. Like if this is like a contemporary cop show or something like that, then it's a completely different premise than if you're talking about something that's built off of European medieval fantasy. It's crazy. Like, I don't even know why people don't understand that. New Predator movie was good because it's native woman versus Predator, not generic woman versus Predator. I never saw the new one. I have no idea. Yeah, watched them for entertainment. Yeah, and I think that oftentimes, like, people, you have to keep in mind that, like, there's a lot of these issues that you hear about. How many of you guys feel like you hear about too many of these social issues too often? Like, you hear about these social issues all the time, right? So guess what? Whenever people watch entertainment, which is fundamentally there to distract them from the real world, and then they see things in that entertainment that is just a reinforcement of what they're trying to get away from in the real world, why are they consuming that entertainment in the first place? There's never not been diversity. I'm so tired of this. Oh, of course there's always been diversity. I mean, shit, I don't know where that comes from either. I feel like, yeah, just because every movie doesn't have a certain quota to it doesn't mean that there weren't a ton of diverse movies from back in the day. Happy laugh always? Well, maybe not always, but, in our version of always. Let's see here. And author Andrei Sapkowski describes Yennefer in The Last Wish as a pale triangular face. Yeah, she's obviously white. What a surprise. The guy comes from fucking Poland. What's this here? Character was depicted. She and apparently Wіtсhеr clearly chose to cast an actress in this case that did not look like how the character was depicted. And she did it because she apparently has an issue with white women being depicted and described as being beautiful. I think this might be a bit of a stretch. That's quite a lot to say. However, I think that a lot of people just don't want to have, and I think this also... That's the end of the show. That's the end of the thing. It's pretty racist. I mean, like, again, it is. I'm not saying that it's impossible, and there are people out there that think that. They're actual fucking racists, and they have a chip on their shoulder. They have an agenda, and they're trying to push it. I see it all the time on Twitter. It's actually kind of surprising. On X? Oh, yeah, right. Apparently, as issue, I put actual quote from the article, utter fucking lunacy. Keep in mind the author's words, not an actual quote from the casting director. I feel like we need to challenge what people think is a standard of beauty. This is what she actually thinks. Well, I don't think that it's outside of the realm of possibility that is kind of what she thinks. I don't know. I think that it's a bit of a stretch to assume that. I would not assume that because I think it's just a lot to assume out of somebody. Like, I see this a lot, and this happens on Twitter especially, and just like anywhere, right? Somebody does something, and then what they do is taken in the worst possible way, and people interpret it as if it is the worst possible thing and the worst possible intent that this person could have. And then they just go and assume that that's what the person meant. So I try to avoid doing that, even if it's with things that I generally disagree with or things that I kind of think are true. It's an absurd generalization. Yeah, for sure. Check out the Oscars, best movie, new diversity requirements. I don't even know. Like, when was the last time I watched the Oscars? I don't actually. When was the first time I watched the Oscars? I'll let you know when it happens. I have no idea. Let's see here. TLDR, she said she's done casting based on empowering groups and viewers instead of acting quality or accuracy. Well, the thing is that if you do this, here's the best thing about a free market. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. The best thing about a free market is that if people don't like this, they can solve the problem very easily. They stop watching the show. And if you stop watching the show, then they'll stop doing it. Because, yes, obviously, you know, maybe this woman will get another job doing this a couple of times. But do you really think that the executives at Warner Brothers, the people that actually make decisions, do you think that they care about minorities? Or do you think they care about money? Come on. They're not gonna keep pushing a show and pushing an agenda that's not profitable. You see what I'm saying? Like, because they can't just infinitely lose money. Eventually they run out of money. If people actually don't like stuff like this, I'll give you another example. With Ghostbusters, right? I'll do it again. I said this before. Remember the Ghostbusters all-woman movie? They never did another one of those, did they? You don't see Amy Schumer in movies anymore, do you? How about Amber Heard? You know why? It's because they don't make money. And people don't like them. That's the real reason. These companies don't care about these problems at all. Yeah, lost money. So then they're not going to do it. Let's see here. I'll scroll all the way down. It's just like girl's British and Mars isn't white. Certainly a majority either. I have no idea. I don't think it even showed a picture of her. Who puts people like this in charge of a fandom that they don't like and want to smash? Out-of-touch companies like Netflix. Well, yeah, that's right. And again, they only care about the bottom line. Yeah, if people don't like this kind of stuff, then just stop watching content that's like this, and then it will go away. It's actually so simple and so easy. Now, an agenda matters, but the agenda doesn't matter more than money. This might be like a wrong take, because it's like, I don't really think about this a lot, but I think one problem that media has is they try to portray women and men as the exact same thing as characters individually. And I think that kind of removes some of the innate differences between men and women. And men are not the same as women. They act different. They have different values. They have different temperaments. They're different. It just feels weird. Who fucking cares, to be honest? It's a movie. Because the reason why it matters is because it's not being done for the artistic vision. It's being done because there is an agenda that it's trying to push. That's the difference. And everybody knows it. Why does it get you so mad that there's an agenda? Just don't watch. Well, I'm not getting mad. Am I getting mad? Like, who said I was getting mad? I'm just talking about it. Yeah, I didn't realize I was getting mad. I'm saying this is just how it is. And why does it get you mad that there's an agenda? Well, I don't want somebody to co-opt something that I'm doing for entertainment and then take it over and use it as their own soapbox to push their worldview. I don't appreciate that. I don't like that. And I don't think most people like that. That's it. It's not making me like really that mad. I'm not like super upset about this. It's just that whenever I see it, I don't really care about whatever I'm watching, because it's like, this is no longer a work of art. This is a vehicle for a viewpoint. I'm just saying this is how it is.